Uh-oh. The last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi everyone, I'm Sylvain from Savage Lands, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious, the podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Anyway, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, where are you located? I don't think I know that.
I'm in Costa Rica right now.
Oh, nice.
Where are you?
I'm in Richmond, Virginia, but boy, I wish I was by you.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get my wife to retire to there or Belize because you could do so much more with your money. And we were on target for when I retire. We were going to do it. And then now we have grandkids and we're going nowhere. Now we're stuck, which is a good thing, but I'm not going to Costa Rica.
All right.
Anyway, so for those not familiar with Savage Lands, can you go ahead and give us like the 2-sentence elevator boardroom pitch?
Savage Lands is a non-profit organization dedicated to biodiversity protection and forest reforestation. But the special thing about Savage Lands is that it's also a band, it's also an artist. So it's a non-profit that has one foot in the metal scene and one foot in the forest.
Nice, I love it. So we'll just jump right in then. How does Savage Land's unique approach of combining metal music with environmental activism challenge traditional perceptions of the genre?
What genre? Metal or non-profit?
Yeah, metal, sorry.
Well, I think the main thing is that, artists are pretty often committed to different topics. Can be animal rights, can be children, education, and most of the time they use their loud voice and sometimes some money to give a percentage or to raise awareness. With Savage Lands, we wanted to go one step further and have our own tool to not only raise awareness but be active on the field and bring results to the audience and make the audience proud and make people realize that they are part of a movement that is in the metal community. It's addressing the metal community, but also is having results in the real life, not only giving away to some other people that would do the job.
Yeah. I was reading that Savage Lands has preserved 100,000 square feet of high-risk Costa Rican rainforest using your royalties. What challenges do you think might be faced in scaling up the conservation efforts? Or is that not even a thing? Are you planning on?
No, we are planning. We're actually starting programs in Europe now. We're going to buy a bigger forest actually, and we are creating a coalition with other nonprofits. Actually, it's fun because they're not at all in the metal, but they like our concept so much, so they're going to ally under the Army of the Trees flag, and we're going to create metal forests.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty cool, for the storytelling. We want to scale, but it's not the only goal, because the main thing we are able to do, and maybe that's also one of our differences. We want to inspire people. We want more than a number, like I could say, okay, we want to plant 1 million trees. All right, but it's not a story, it's a number. The numbers you forget. I think it's better to try to create stories. Like, already talking about metal forest, I'm sure you're going to remember that.
Yes.
So that's probably how you bring more people on board, inspiring them, and hopefully also they will do their own projects. So in that sense, the numbers will grow, even if we don't grow ourselves. But inspiring people is a way to, grow a lot faster.
So how do you think the collaboration between, people like Alyssa White Gluth and Kenneth Andrews, how do you think they're bringing their star power to this might influence other musicians to engage in either similar initiatives or even this one?
Well, hopefully this one, because the goal would be to be the natural platform for any metal artist that would like to support the environmental through biodiversity and forest. So that would be nice that everyone thinks of us, when they want to do something with their music. But what it brings a lot in terms of audience, but also artistically, everyone brings a little something in the recipe. So for us, it's very interesting to collaborate with different people, because it's not like we're stuck in a band and in a genre that we have
Right.
to stick to, as many bands have to, because otherwise they lose their fan base.
Hey,
It's probably different for us, because I hope anyway people will accept that we experiment more, because it's not just creating a band, it's more like creating a movement, and we have to bring people from different or horizons. I would love to have death metal fans as well as I don't know, maybe progressive or even new metal fans finding something interesting in the album. That would be perfect.
but when you guys write, then you're writing specifically for the cause, right? I mean, everything is involved in that
We write, I
because
mean,
you have the Army of Trees is the title of the record.
yeah, this one, yeah. But we are a core. We have the core members, that collaborate on the longer range, and I write most of the guitars, and then Poon is writing the melodies, and then we send to Dirk and Etienne, and everyone is adding a little something. Um, but then, yeah, the end of the process is when the song is almost done. We send it to specific guests that are okay to collaborate, and sometimes we have a feedback from them, of course, and we arrange something. But we don't put any lines, like we have to do this or that. It's just like we're all experienced guys. We're not that young anymore. So everyone has a little bit of feedback, and musical culture. So we just write what sounds good to us. We don't try to do, oh, okay, let's be metal here and let's be more rock here. We just, if
Just
we think
go.
it sounds good, then we send it to Dirk. If Dirk says it sounds good, then we go for it.
Nice. So, how did you get in touch with people like Alyssa or Kenneth or anybody else that you're working with? Is it difficult to get them on board?
No, thanks to Dirk, it's not that difficult. For me, it would be. But no, Dirk is a very great personality. He's not only a spectacular drummer, but he's also a very respected human being. He doesn't have any ego issues, and he's just a very smart, talented, and cool person. So I guess when he contacts someone, at least the person pay attention to what he's writing, and whether they say yes or no for different reasons. Some people are super busy and they can't participate. Maybe they would like to, but they can't. Some are available, but we have to wait for the right schedule, and sometimes it is 6 months after. But
Neat.
yeah, Dirk is the key for that.
Nice. And I saw that somewhere when I was doing some research on a deep dive, I saw you actually had Hellfest contribute to this thing as well, right?
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistant's assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
So that'd
Yeah,
be kind of cool if you can get a lot more of those.
man, that's the plan. That's the
That's
plan.
nice.
We really need that maybe that's one question you're going to ask me, but we decided that Savage Lands is playing live only when there is a collaboration with the festival or the venue or whatever, you know. It wouldn't make sense if we would tour as a band and just promote an album. We're not a band. We're a non-profit that is also an artist, you know. So basically, when people see Savage Lands on stage, they can be sure that something's going to happen also on the non-profit part on the field, you know.
So I did a little research as well, and I didn't see many other or any other people doing that sort of thing. Is this the first time a band has done it like on at all or even on this scale?
I guess it's the first time. It was actually kind of tricky to sign the contract with the label because it's, you know, you don't exactly know where to declare the advance. You know, is
Right.
it a donation or is it something you have to pay taxes on from our part? So it
Right.
was kind of, we had to hire some lawyers, you know, to figure that out because I think that was the first time it was done. That is not for a one shot, not for one song. Maybe it was done for one song already. But being the nonprofit and being the artist at the same time, I really think that's the first time.
So are you hands-on in the nonprofit as well?
Too much.
Really?
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
How do you manage all of this stuff then? How do you manage, writing quality music and then still manage to get out there and plant trees and, run for the cause?
Well, it's been, to be honest, it's been quite a busy 2 years. But hopefully we're building a team now, and we have now that the name is getting a little bit bigger, a little bit more famous. We have people that are contacting us, and we start building a team. Of course, we can't keep going like this if there is not a team, but as well as the coalition I was talking to you before, that's going to happen in France, but if it could, of course, happen anywhere. You know, it's a movement, it's an idea, so it's really easy to jump on board, actually.
So while we're talking about that, if anybody watching here, listening to this, however they're consuming it, how do they get involved? How do they find out more? Is there a website or something we can hit?
Yeah, they can check the savagelands.org. They could follow us on Instagram. We post a lot of things that we're doing actually on Instagram more than the website. And then if they want to support, the first thing that they can do is listen to the music, buy the album, because 100% of the royalties, they go directly to the nonprofit because, you know, nonprofit is the artist. So there's no in between. And then, of course, we need money, we need donations, especially in the States. That's something we just figured out with the lawyer. We need to have at least 33% of the money coming to the organization coming from private people. Otherwise, we might lose our nonprofit status. It can't be like in France, we don't care about it. You know, like if Hellfest is the main donator, it's not a problem. You know, it's just we use the money for what it is supposed to be used. But in the US, we need people to be, you know, it has to be targeted to private people. So of course,
So people who are interested, I'm just thinking out loud, you probably already thought of these, but they could put on like grassroots hometown shows and donate the money as well, right? For the
yeah,
cause?
they can do that. Actually, we have this deal with Heilung, you know, this Viking traditional
Oh yeah,
band,
I know them. Sure.
and they gave us $1 per ticket sold on the last tour.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Merch. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of things you can do.
There's a lot of things actually. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that the title of the album, Army of the Trees, we put it out as a free license. So it means people can contact us, and if they want to do some merch with their band's name and Army of the Trees written as they like, you know, if it's a black metal band, they're gonna do it like black metal style.
Right.
If it's a deathcore band, they're gonna do something else, but they're gonna address their community with the right codes. And then I mean free license because they can choose what they give us. You know, it can be 1%, it can be 100%. We do that with the first ones doing that is Benighted,
Yeah.
the French band, and they actually just finished the design of the t-shirt, so they did it their style, you know, and they're gonna give us 100% of the royalties.
That's
Uh,
amazing, right?
I don't know if I can show you the t-shirt.
Oh no, I lost it.
Yeah.
I see it from there. Yeah.
It's like a forest and some spines, human spines, and it's written Army of the Trees. So I think it's pretty cool to I'm looking forward to see the ideas of other artists, how they're gonna design it.
Yeah.
And it's
I
a good
think it's
sign,
great. And I
it
think
shows that it's a
metal
movement.
has always, yeah, sorry. Metal has always had that sort of underground, sort of grassroots kind of thing. And I think this aligns so well with it.
Exactly. That for me, I've been an activist a long time, like different types of activism. And I think the metal community is actually a really great audience and more than an audience because I think it's mostly because they are not passive buyers, they do things. They
Yeah.
have you're the perfect example. They have a show, a radio, a magazine. They organize their own concerts, do their own promotion because it's an underground music at first, and so people just naturally do that. But it's perfect because that's exactly what we do and what we need.
And I think the nature connection, I mean, if you look at most of the Scandinavian bands, all their whole lives are based around nature, as heavy and as brutal as it sounds. I mean, you see all those memes, right, of all the black metal guys wearing corpse paint in the forest.
Yeah.
It's timely, and I think I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's
I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
First of all, I think that's interesting that you mentioned that. I think that's exactly what we want to do. Instead of telling people, don't do this, don't take the plane, don't eat meat, whatever, we don't want to use the word don't. Uh, we 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 want to reconnect people with nature and bring something more like a feeling, like some yeah, a link,
Yeah.
create a link and a
And the
sense of
dichotomy is crazy of what people think, right? Because they're not thinking the screaming Costa Rican metal band or the screaming Norwegian metal band is really interested in that, right? They're thinking
yeah.
Satan, whatever else, and it's a
Yeah.
lot of nature.
No, especially in Costa Rica, we had lots of issues with that. Some people didn't want to help for the video with Alisa because they say she was satanic.
Hey,
And so it's a very religious country, and some people they were like, "Oh," but 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 we have a very good feedback in Costa Rica. Of course, it's a small country, but people are really proud to see that international artists care, about their country. And it's a symbol because, of course, we don't want to limit ourselves to Costa Rica. We want to build a movement basically everywhere it's going to be possible.
it's got to start somewhere, so why not there?
Yeah, and of course, it's a symbol because it's spectacular.
Right. Awesome. That is all I had. You gave us your websites. Again, it's gonna be savagelands.org.
And Instagram is savagelands_project.
Okay, cool. Did I miss anything you wanted to cover?
No, it was pretty cool, actually. You
Sorry, I
covered
kind of
everything.
wander a little bit, so
No, that's really nice. I have a question.
yeah,
Um,
please.
I always try to get because metal likes to give names to genres. So where would you position our album? I know it's not an easy one, but in between which genres would you position?
Maybe, I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind is melodic metal.
Yeah, there is always melodic. That's probably one of the red lines.
That's probably too catch-all, but I don't know if it's anything specific because you do kind of meander through genres, right?
Yeah, we love many different musics. There's lots of influences. I remember I did an interview not so long ago, and the guy was a Rush fan, and and actually I must say that I did listen to Rush a lot when I was young, and of course, if you listen a lot to a band, then when you play, there's always
Oh
something.
yeah,
And this guy said, "Oh yeah, there is some Rush in your music," and I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
yeah.
But there's also many other things like, I'm a big fan of progressive music, but also rock music, and I love the energy, but I love also the emotion. So yeah, we try to bring everything together and make something that sounds okay to our ears.
It's funny you mentioned Rush because nobody has heard this except for you right now because I'm in the middle of just before I got on the Zoom with you. Looks like I'm going to end up interviewing Alex with his new band, Envy of None.
Cool.
Yeah, that's like get chills kind of interview, but it'll be great.
I mean, the whether you like Rush or not, when you see
That's neither here nor there.
the huge amount of albums getting back to the 70s, it's I encourage people to have a look, have an ear.
So how can you take anything away from somebody who can play keyboards, play bass, sing, and play with his feet all at the same time? I'm gonna get up from my chair and try and walk and chew gum, and it's gonna be hard. And that guy's doing all of that well.
No, and also he did that live at a time where digital and fucking backing tracks didn't exist, you know. And when you listen to I mean, of course, they probably re-record some stuff, but when you listen to, for example, a show of hands, this live from Rush, you're like, wow, they do a lot for being just three guys.
Yeah, so wherever you are on Rush, you still got to give them their props for sure.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And then Neil, I mean,
all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like,
yeah.
you know, lightning struck once and that's it. And that's, you know, the most perfect collaboration right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
So-
sorry, I know we didn't come to talk about Rush, but you mentioned it, and I was just sending an email earlier, and I'm thinking, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, he's sitting on this Zoom doing an interview with us as well.
Well, cool. That's nice. I'm looking forward to. I mean,
Yeah.
feel free to contact us anytime if you want to, whatever, or if you know people that are interested to collaborate, and that's the idea. You know, it's not just promoting the album. It's really something that is going to exist beyond the album. And
All right, good luck, my friend. Cheers.
bye.
All right, bye.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Reed Mathis. I made a podcast called The Gifts of Improvising. That's coming out on Osiris. We talk to all your favorite improvisers.
Natalie Cressman, Marco Benevento, Tom Hamilton,
Aaron Magner,
Holly Bowling, Bill Kreutzmann, and Jay Lane.
So what, you're doing a podcast?
Yeah, doing a podcast.
So don't fear if you hear a foreign sound to your ear.
We need the gifts of improvising.
This is Lawrence Lanahan, journalist, musician, and host of Rearranged, an Osiris Media podcast about music arranging. Once a song is written, arrangers make musical decisions that shape how we end up hearing the song. And we're not just talking about adding orchestral accompaniment like horns and strings or doing a cover version of a song. Arrangement can be putting happy music over dark lyrics, using samples, recording all acoustic, even tiny decisions like putting an electronic loop into an acoustic song to draw your attention to an important turn of phrase. It's all arranging. Rearranged episodes are documentary essays where I use arrangements to answer some big questions like what is a song? And what can a song become? And how can the sound of a song change the meaning you take from it? Listening this way has changed my relationship with music. Tune into Rearranged, and maybe it'll happen for you too. Learn more at rearrangedpodcast.com.
Osiris.